Taurus, welcome to Morning Air Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me. This is going to be your April 2018 love reading. For those of you that are new to my channel, thank you so much for joining me. I reflect on your energy and I lay your cards out for your energy coming into the month, your past, present, future, and then your energy heading into the next month, which is May. So Taurus, honey, okay. Y'all must be going through something, or there is a message that is seriously meant for you guys because your cards were flying out of the deck unlike any other reading I've done this far. So I don't want to waste any more time because I want to give you that message. Okay, we're coming into April with the Page of Cups. Now somebody, and I know this is useless because I literally cannot think of who that sign was. So you're like, okay, great, thanks for the information, but I have to literally search every video. The Page of Cups has a very intuitive feel to it. So for some of you, you could be experiencing a lot more gut feelings prior to this reading, and then for the rest of April, I think you guys are definitely susceptible to kind of like divine messages or thoughts that kind of just hit you and you're like, wow, that's weird, that doesn't usually happen. A lot of you guys may also be experiencing different dreams, memorable dreams that feel very realistic, and for some of you, you could be waking up at like 3 or 4 in the morning and kind of just awake and then kind of hard for you to go back to sleep, and that I feel like could potentially be a message that is trying to get through to you about whatever situation is going on in your life. And also this is a card that's just kind of like a really loyal, peaceful, harmonious, innocent type of feel. So you guys are definitely coming in and meeting any challenges or any conflicts in your life with this kind of peaceful approach. Like you don't want to have, you don't want the conflict. So in the past, Taurus, we have the 4 of Rods in the upright, followed by the 7 of Rods in the reverse, followed by the Death card. Okay. For some of you, you could have been married to someone. Some of you might still be married to this person, but I feel like this is also just a committed relationship with somebody as well, right? So it doesn't have to be marriage, but things were really good for a time. They were really good. And then shit started to change. So with the 7 of Rods in the upright, this is somebody who has kind of like doubt and uncertainty in a situation. And this is also somebody who is like avoiding arguments or kind of not being very vocal with their thoughts and opinions about things to just save face for a relationship. And so you could have been dealing with somebody who may have been uncertain about what they wanted in a relationship, but they weren't like really conveying that. It was kind of like you having to pull from the depths of this person's soul, like the truth, right? Or like the answer to your questions. And the Death card in reversed speaks of kind of like the avoidance of the inevitable. And this is also somebody who is refusing to change, or somebody who is refusing to accept. Both of these cards are very stubborn cards in the reversed. So it really speaks of a person who does not really see their wrong in any situation. So it's a very difficult person to be committed to or in a relationship to, with. So for some of you, it could have been a Scorpio. For others of you, I do feel a lot of fiery energy, so it could be a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. But I do believe that this transpired over a decent amount of time. And I don't know that because, you know, you guys as a sign are loyal, and you certainly are very grounded, and your earth energy kind of wants to look at things logically. It could have been you or them that were wanting to avoid the breakup or wanting to avoid the inevitable death of the relationship. Even if you guys were on two totally different pages, it's almost like, would it have worked at all? Because in some ways too, it feels like somebody was misled. Somebody was thought to believe something about somebody that wasn't necessarily the truth. So it could be like you were under this impression that it was one way and this person was one way and everything was fine and great. And then all of a sudden it was like they just changed the course of the relationship. Like, I don't know, being in love with somebody so much and then them being like, we're just friends. Like, I don't know, like, what you're thinking. And then it was like very difficult for somebody to let go of this because they really strongly believed that it was meant to be more. And it was like trying to prolong the inevitable. Maybe some of you were trying to, or they were trying to, like, find themselves, like, if they could stick around long enough, it might change your mind, or you might change, you know, their mind, or something to that effect. But this is definitely somebody who would avoid confrontation, but it's, and like, yeah, confrontation isn't necessarily always a good thing, but it's also not a bad thing, because without confrontation, how would you find the conclusion to so many of the different beliefs that you guys have or you want in the relationship? So in the present moment, we have the Ace of Pentacles in the reversed, followed by the Queen of Pentacles in the upright, followed by the World card. Okay. Ace of Pentacles. So in reversed, you guys felt as though this was something that was stable, and it wasn't, right? So you guys felt like maybe like your whole earth was shaken up, your whole world was shaken up, your whole earth was shaken up, your whole world was shaken up, and I guess realistically, yeah, it is, your whole earth was shaken up. But yeah, it was just this sense of imbalance that you guys had suffered and went through. And I think that to pull yourself out of this situation in the present moment, you're like, I'm hurting myself by allowing myself to keep reverting back to the past, to keep thinking about this past person, to keep like wanting to check in on what their thoughts are, or figure out what their motives really were, when you are overexerting yourself. And I feel like, Taurus, in the present moment, especially because you're coming in with this, you're transforming yourself back into the Queen of Pentacles. So you're pushing out the sense of irrational thinking or compulsive thinking about this person, like the shoulda, coulda, woulda of the relationship. Why didn't it work out? Would it have worked out if we both had seen the same thing, or we had both felt the same way? I feel like this person just surprised you. Like they didn't necessarily, I just really get this feeling like you were misled, like false advertising. I feel like I keep feeling like it was not where you saw it going. Clearly, you saw it going in a very stable and fulfilling place. And I'm not saying that at one point it wasn't here. It wasn't that way. But you were probably dealing with somebody who... I also feel like, too, in the past, for some of you, I read this card also like these are options, right? And this person's like batting back the options. So it could be that this person had multiple other people involved, and either you didn't know about it, or you may have known about it, and because you felt like it was, your relationship was on a different caliber than what anything else this person would have received was, that you were prolonging the inevitable, or this person was prolonging the inevitable in order to keep you around and have their cake and eat it too. And then it was like once that revelation hit, you completely like closed down, right? You shut down. And then I feel like you're gaining your power back now, because the World card here is a completion of something. And so you knew that you had to let this go, or you have to let this go. You can't revert back to the past. You can use it as an example for what you don't want, that's for sure. But to allow yourself to find, and these tarot card readings, to be honest with you, yeah, they're very helpful, but they'll drive you crazy. You'll watch 4 and 5 of them and 6 of them and try to see what the other person's thinking, and, you know, what you're thinking, and see if it's right, and find the one that suits you and what's the best message for you. And the cards speak for themselves. And if you guys have seen this in any other reading, you're closing this chapter, and it needs to be closed because there's no more fulfillment here. And you know that instinctually, right? Especially if you're coming in with this Page of Cups energy, like you already know that. You don't even need a tarot reading to tell you that. You know that. You've been feeling that way for a long time. Perhaps you were holding on to, God, this piece of skin on my lip. It'll probably start bleeding now. Sorry, I'm like tearing at my face. Yeah, but you knew that, right? So you knew that this person was unstable, that they could have had a lot of different relationships or a lot of different options. And you're like, bitch, I'm the Queen of Pentacles. Like, I'm the queen of everything material. I'm the queen of everything. The taste of blood. It's just so gross. You know, I'm too classy to allow somebody to take over my thoughts this way and create this imbalance in my life. So you know that you need to close this chapter, and you will close this chapter because there's nothing left for this to proceed onward with. You're better than that. In the future, we have the 8 of Rods in reversed, followed by the Temperance card, followed by the 2 of Rods. Perfect. Slowing down, getting your thoughts together, you guys, honestly, it's like every time I do your readings, you guys have the most perfect future and outcome. So even this reading compared to the last 2 readings, you guys are just on point. Like you're not wanting to, you want to progress. Like, no movement is not being in a stagnant stalemate place with somebody or just with yourself to come to the determination about what life is going to bring you is not in your best interest. It's not. Like, being able to slow your focus down, you gain this temperance. Some of you could be meeting a Sagittarius as well. But this Temperance card is gaining that stability back in your life. And then with this 2 of Rods in reverse, it's saying that you need to have faith. You need to believe that everything is going to be just fine. This person in the upright, or in general just in this card, has the whole world in their hands. And you have the capacity to do anything and everything you want to do and anything you want to be and be with anyone you want to be with. You're not an option. You're not a choice, okay? This is somebody who's seeking out into the distance in the upright, right? Like looking for their ships to come in, looking for a potential partner. So in some scenarios, this is somebody in the background and they're deciding between two people and who to choose and they don't know who to choose and yada yada. In the reverse, I feel like your mind is made up. Even though it sucks and it's shitty and you're sad and the past is a very dreadful place to think about, half of you misses it, half of you wants nothing to do with it. You need to realize that you absolutely have the power in this situation and that you need to have a little bit more faith in yourself and in the way that things happen in life and the people you meet, and realizing that that happens for a reason. Great people get hurt all the time, but it's more about the lesson in that than about, actually being hurt. And it sucks, but what would you have to take out of that situation if you weren't a part of something that was so shitty or met somebody who was so shitty, right? And so all of this to me is one general message. It's like you're slowing down, you're finding that stability again. And in the future, you need to, and I believe you just will, inherently take on the feeling of knowing that everything is going to work out. And it could be because the Page of Cups coming in this month and the rest of the month. Maybe you guys keep a lookout for signs, okay? Like, I'm a big believer in signs, and for me, cardinals are my sign. So anytime I'm really feeling down in the dumps or I'm feeling really just sad, I don't have the answers to things, I feel so confused, I say, God, send me a sign. Send me a sign. And every single time I see a cardinal or I get a cardinal, a day or two later, I'll see one sitting, on my patio or, looking out the window in a daze and all of a sudden just see one, sitting on like the windowsill. Like, it's crazy. Don't be afraid to ask for those messages. Do not be afraid, because you ask and you shall receive. And for those of you that may not be, and I know that that's a sensitive topic, but for those of you that have your own belief system or what it is that you feel like speaks to you, then let that happen for you. If it's meditating and sitting in silence to get those answers that you need on the path you need to be on in life, who you need to be with in life, what makes the most sense, that will come to you. Have the faith that you need to have in order to get yourself through the situation. And I don't feel like I'm reading this entire reading and I'm like, oh, poor Taurus. Like, I don't feel that way. I feel like you guys really have your shit together. And I feel like you guys are in such a different place than where you had been in the past. You're in a very, very different situation, that's for sure. And I don't believe you're fooled for a minute about this ending that needs to happen. It could already be done, right? Like, you guys could already be done with this person, not speaking to them, blocked them on everything. Mentally, you're still connected to them. And those mental thoughts will be the death of you, believe that. So to rid yourself of them mentally, it's practice that you need to sit with yourself. And when you come and think of this person, think of all of the things that you don't want in a partner and how they can be that person, how that person is just not for you. I don't feel like this person would come back and do, a complete and total change, because if this is that person in the past, and I'm not saying that I don't think that Taurus, you can be a little bit stubborn, right? I'm not saying that. But you were dealing with somebody who wouldn't even accommodate, like wouldn't even try to put in the effort. This like nonchalant attitude, right? And that is fucking annoying. How perfect that you guys would come into May with the Sun card. After all of this, the illumination that you guys have, the clarity that you guys have, the new beginnings that you have, the peace, the faith, the new opportunities, the joy that you feel. May is going to be a fantastic month for you guys. And not saying that this month is not a great month for you guys, because I feel like, again, you guys have bomb-ass readings all the time. So my biggest message for you guys, and I said that these cards were flying out for you, so somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to hear that everything is going to be just fine. You need to take it one day at a time. You're only human. And sometimes you need to let lying dogs lie. And you need to not concern yourself with people or things that are just going to bring you to a lower place, because you are not the one to be in the reversal, right? You're not the one to feel imbalanced. You're not the one to feel taken advantage of or confused, or your whole world. When you meet that right person, you don't feel that way. You won't feel that way. And to me, there's nothing but great and beautiful opportunities for you in the future. You're going to regain your power. You guys are going to regain your strength. You need to just remember, keep your heart and your eyes and your ears open. Okay? I feel like you guys are going to really receive a lot of important messages this month. I really do. So, Taurus, that's going to be your April Love 2018 reading. Love you guys. You're going to have a great month. I will see you next month. Bye.